tonight is the Rangers Journal night.
Good evening. Welcome to the match reaction to Rangers versus Dundee United. I'm David, and I am joined tonight by my good friend Billy. How you doing, Billy?
I'm okay, mate. Glad to be back on with yourself. Not been on with you for a while. Wish it was under more happier circumstances. Unfortunately, it's not. But good to see you, mate.
Good to see you too, mate. And I apologise to all the viewers for my what is looking as some sort of alien sort of thing here. I don't know how to change it on my phone, so I apologise. Get involved in the comments. Get involved in having a chat with us. So, Billy, we'll start off today. Obviously, the game's finished 1-1. We'll start off with starting lineups. Any surprises for you, or did you think that was... For me, I thought Sterling was going to start right back. The only thing for me was who was going to start right back. I think the rest of the team sort of picked itself. And I thought Sterling was going to start right back. Have him probably start right back on Thursday against Nice. Any sort of surprises for you today?
I guess I maybe would have thought if he's going to rotate Tavernier and Sterling for that role, because Sterling does have a problem staying kind of fit, that he might go with Tav today. It maybe wasn't going to be the most dangerous game for Tavernier. He wasn't going to be facing Maeda, for example. So not surprised, to be honest with you. I was happy that Sterling played there. I think he was solid enough. Don't think he'd done anything, the height of Tavernier and what Tav has given us, but Tav can't give that anymore. So no. I wasn't happy with the starting lineup, but I wasn't surprised.
Yeah. And then when the game started, Billy, I don't think we played too badly in the first half and how we started the game. But it was the same old story. We didn't see that penetration, and then we got hit on the sucker punch. It was like, what was your thoughts on that first half?
Yeah, obviously the possession bears out that we I think it was 69% possession I've seen at one point, and then they go and score, and it just seems to be that way. We dominate teams. We'll obviously talk about the team in the second half, but the type of play you want to be playing against these kind of low block teams that are going to let you have the ball is this kind of fast 1-2 touching, and unfortunately that's not what Dessers gives you. So when I said I was unhappy with the lineup, it was because I would prefer Danilo to have started, probably prefer Hadji to have started as well. That's maybe hindsight, because Diamande didn't play particularly well in the first half. But yeah, we dominated the first half, mate. Again, you said the sucker punch, it just seems to always happen that way, doesn't it? We get... we just their only chance of the game, really, they score from it, and it was such. I don't know who to blame, whether it's Suter or Proper's fault for not picking up that player, but no team should we shouldn't be allowing any team to have their main centre forward unmarked on the penalty spot to knock home an easy cross. We never got that off them the whole game.
I've highlighted a comment here from Nicolas Sturban saying Barron and Raskin should not be both played in the same team. I think that's a fair comment when we're playing at home against probably 90% of the SPL teams. Do you think we should maybe be having one of them and then maybe a Hadji in there with them who's a bit more forward thinking?
We've been having this discussion since Gerrard's been here, mate, haven't we? Playing the two holding midfielders. It's clearly what this system is meant to have. So the manager, he's not the only manager to play the holding two. Beale and Giovanni both played, with two holding midfielders. Do I think we need it? I'm not I'm not trained as a football manager, as a football trainer, anything like that. It doesn't look good, to be fair, when they're both kind of stepping on each other and both kind of dropping deep for the ball. You'd hope that one of them could have been further forward. But the thing is, I like both of those players. I like both of those players in the team, but Does it work? It's maybe more needed if you're going to have your Tavernier busting forward, so you've got cover. I feel Sterling doesn't do that quite the same, so maybe it was unnecessary in a system where we've got Sterling playing, for instance, other than a player like Tavernier.
Yeah, I say I brought up another comment here about Diamande.
Have to agree with that.
I agree with what Ali is saying here. Thought he was very poor on the time that he was on the pitch. This is a guy that's cost us £4.5 million. What are we getting from him? And I get people say he's not a 6, he's not an 8, but what is he?
What is he?
What is he? I mean, you cost that amount of money. You have to be able to play football. You have to be able to do something. And it seems we are just we've spent this money on someone. Are they good enough, Billy?
We need, if we're spending 4 million or 4.5 million on a player, they probably have to be our main man. The one that picks up the team with the scruff of the neck, or at least the kind of silky centre forward finisher that we don't want. I mean, to be honest, he could have sat this whole game, and we can't afford to have a £4.5 million player that doesn't affect games nearly enough. Because I mean, he shows he's got a lovely turn from time to time, and he breaks away from if he breaks up a play and he turns and he manages that kind of long stretch where the ball kind of seems to go further than it usually does, but he doesn't do that often enough, and it doesn't really become effective, to be honest with you, mate. You maybe do it and then run into somebody else, and it's just not enough for the player, as you say, that costs that amount of money.
I mean, we can obviously we go back in time, and it's a bit of a different time, but Paul Gascoigne cost us £4.5 million. And it's as I say, I know it's a different time and all these things, but when you look at it in today's day and age, like you say, for £4.5 million, needs to be the main man, needs to be scoring goals, creating assists, whatever it is. And we get to half time, and I put it on the group chat. I said, Danilo for Dessers, Hadji for Diamande. That's what happened at half-time. What do you make of Dessers in that first half?
Just ineffective. I mean, the only thing I remember him doing is trying to keep a ball from going out at the Broomloan and kick, ended up like kicking it out the park. So that's the only time I remember. And I mean, it's not to say that he's done anything wrong. There was no balls kind of getting into him. He was crowded out. And that's where he was the wrong type of player for this type of game. And I know Danilo's just coming back from injury, but you've seen the difference in the chance creation in the second half. And things happening in the box. Okay, we didn't. Well, I think we had the ball on the net four times. But unfortunately, only one of them counted. But it was down to that kind of 1-2 passing round the outskirts of the box, and to be honest with you, down to how good Cherny was today. But Taylor two halves there, I'd agree, mate. But Dessers is just, I don't know what games he is effective in. Maybe European games he's more effective in, and that's totally fine if we have players that are good for the European game, and then there's other players that play in the Scottish League. We are faced with this low block 90%, 95% of the games we play, but Clermont doesn't seem to learn that playing Dessers in there isn't the way to win. It's certainly not the way to win 3 and 4-0. When we have been winning, it's by 1 goal. And that's because we're not playing the correct system against the teams we're playing against. Who, let's face it, mate, we have a vast higher budget over.
Yeah, I mean, going into half-time, it was... Dundee United had their one chance that we took. And then just on half-time, we had a goal disallowed where it was a handball by Barron. I've got no issues with the goal being disallowed. It was... what I sort of had an issue was the referee saw it, and then when the ball's in the air, Proper's looking to score, he then blows a whistle. And that there is just one of those things where it's like, why not just let the play go on, let the goal score? But it was a handball by Barron, and I think it was right to disallow the goal. If it had been the other end of the pitch, I'd want it disallowed. Into the second half, we got Danilo, we got Hadji on, and for the second half, it was one-way traffic. It was just Danilo missed a chance, which was a really good chance, and it's what we've been saying all along. We miss so many chances. We just don't have someone who's going to bury that chance.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cherney came into the game, and the goal that we scored was a really good goal. Cherney into Danilo, passed it back, Cherney, and from there, I thought we were going to go on and win the game. There was only one winner from there. What was your thoughts from there, Billy?
Well, I tongue-in-cheek said in our group chat, because a few of the guys were already throwing the baby out of the bathwater for this match, so to speak. And I said, well, calm down, we might end up winning 5-1. And obviously I was joking, but at that point I thought we'd been playing pretty well and we've got that goal. There was still enough time for us to go on and score, okay, not 5, but there was enough time for us to go and score a few more goals. And I really believe we should have. We had really good, it always seems like in these games the goalkeeper has the game of his life. There was the one in the first half where he palms it away from Desser's head. There was a few in the second half where, I think he gets injured in one of them, and then a one later on where he makes a kind of super save on the goal line. It's just one of great, that's what he's there to do. So he's a goalkeeper, but we never seem to get a goalkeeper on a bad day, do we? It's always somebody having a world-class day. But I think I've not seen the stats for how many goal chances or shots on goal what we created. I thought Hadji was unlucky with his long range strike, and also the follow-up was unlucky. But when we've had so many games like this, mate, where we fail to score enough goals to either win or to win convincingly, you've got to say it can't just be luck at this point. It's either the players or the way they've been set up, and maybe a bit of both.
And I think there, Billy, is where I 100% agree with you, that we have these games where we are maybe the better side, we're having these chances, but it's like, a goalkeeper does this, or we hit the post. It just gets to a point where we're just not good enough.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, watching the game today, I saw Aberdeen losing, and my thought was, we're going to make ground up on them because we're not going to catch Celtic.
Yeah.
And that is a sad thing to say as a Rangers fan, and I wish I didn't think like that, but I think that is a reality. I've been in the pub with a Celtic fan, and I said to him, if we finish 15 points behind you, I'd probably take that, because that's where we are at. And that is a sad thing to say, mate. I don't want to be saying that, but I think that is the reality of where we are at the minute. So we finished 1-1. I think the second half we played well. Like you said, their goalkeeper made some really good saves, but it's not good enough for a Rangers. It's not good enough for Rangers, is it, Billy?
No.
Do you think this is? Do you think Clement is surviving this?
I think I'd said last night, if on a Friday night pod, if this turned out to be his Beale's Aberdeen game, then he probably wouldn't survive it. A draw is probably enough. There was so much apathy at the end. I don't even think I heard any boos from the fans. I heard it at halftime, but that's what's going to be the problem now. If he continues to be there, it's going to be, already, okay, the weather's partly to do with it, but the stadium wasn't full. That's going to be more and more, because fans don't want to go along and watch that, and they're not going to willingly give their money, because okay, maybe they've got season tickets paid already, but there's still other things you invest in the club and you go along on the day, whether it's food or something from the club shop. Fans aren't going to do it because we're fed up of a team that we've paid a lot of money investing in, and the money has not been invested particularly well. And saying that, we've got a player we're obligated to buy that couldn't stay fit for his last season on loan, and now we're obligated to buy him, and he's not been able to stay fit this season. I'm not blaming the player. These are just common sense things. Like, right, that'd be great if he manages it, but the risk of him not playing, this is Cortez I'm talking about, is overweighs the benefit we might reap from having them. We need to have strong physical players that can play 90% of the matches that we've got. We can't have all these players that, we're even worried that Sterling not able to run, 3 games in a row. We've got Balogun can't play every game, obviously, because of his age. There's too many of these players, break down. I mean, Danilo's back. How long for? I don't know. I mean, I'm not blaming him for the injuries. There were bad ones inflicted on him. But it's just another one of these straw on top of the ever-increasing straws on this camel's back. And one small thing could be enough to see the manager go. I was really hopeful talking to Cammy last night that the Belgian job would be something he'd be tempted to go away for. I think Cammy was saying that's wishful thinking. So he bust my bubble a bit about that. But we're maybe in a position we can't afford to let him go, and that's the problem. And that's all down to the board giving him this contract. Just weird, but we're kind of rocking a hard place, isn't it, mate?
I'd say I think you've summed up well there, Billy, to be honest with you. And where we go from here, I don't know, but I think we've now got 3-4 months till the next international break, no winter break. I've actually said to a couple of people, I'm looking more forward to playing against Spurs in the Europa League, thinking we'll probably get a result there than against Dundee United at home. That's not the way it should be. And yeah, I'd say this has been a quick match reaction after the game. I didn't think we played overly badly, but the fact of the matter is we need to be winning these games, and the manager doesn't seem to be able to pull that out of the bag. He doesn't seem to be able to beat the Scottish teams, and that's what we need. That is our bread and butter. We can win in Europe, we can do all these things, but if we're not beating St Mirren, we're not beating Dundee United, whoever it is, then it's pretty much pointless. It is pointless. And yeah, so I'm going to wrap up here, Billy, because we're coming to the end. It's a match reaction. We're going to have more of a in-depth look at it on Monday night. And so thank you to everyone that's got involved in the comments. Thank you to you, Billy, for jumping on.
No problem.
Always a pleasure, mate. And as I say, keep jumping in, watching the Rangers Journal podcasts. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, on YouTube. Like and subscribe, and you will get the honest versions from everyone that comes on. But once again, thank you very much, Billy, and I'll speak to you next time. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.